When we think about composition, we consider various elements, how to use the camera and employ different techniques to achieve composition is something we have learned so far. Now, we need to understand how to use different lenses and how to approach composition. Aperture plays a significant role in controlling the depth of field. By adjusting the aperture, you can determine how much of the scene is in sharp focus, creating a sense of depth or isolating the subject from the background. Focusing accurately on the main subject allows you to separate it from foreground and background, ensuring that the out of focus areas do not distract the viewer's attention. This helps to create viewer's focus within the boundaries of the frame. Until now, you might not have given much thought to the focal length while capturing nature photography. However, the focal length of the lens plays a crucial role in the perspective while composing. Similarly, when photographing flowers, it is also of great importance. A static lens, which means a lens with a fixed focal length that cannot be changed, offers a higher degree of quality. However, when it comes to composition, you may need to adjust or change your position to capture the photograph effectively. In other words, following the principles of distance and perspective, the perspective of the photo changes, and when taking close-up photos, we cannot avoid distortion caused by the perspective. Additionally, we may not have full control over the background surrounding the main subject. Exploring different compositions while maintaining the same perspective can be achieved by using various telephoto lenses. However, when photographing from a fixed position, there is a practical limitation to the number of lenses we can have readily available. Additionally, constantly changing lenses can be time consuming. If you have two different zoom lenses with varying focal lengths, it becomes easier to adjust the composition according to your preference. When using crop frame cameras, having two zoom lenses with limited focal length ranges such as 18 to 50 mm and 70 to 300 mm allows for capturing nature photography with great compositional flexibility. If your zoom lenses have macro capabilities, you can indeed create high quality compositions with full control over perspective. For extreme close-up photography, a dedicated macro lens with a focal length of 50 mm or 100 mm or even higher is highly recommended. These lenses are specifically designed to provide superior magnification and image quality for capturing intricate details at very close distances. If you want to capture images in a confined space, wide-angle lenses with shorter focal lengths are indeed useful. They allow you to capture a wider field of view, making them ideal for small rooms or cramped environments. In the case of full-frame cameras, you can utilize lenses with focal lengths shorter than 18 mm or even opt for fisheye lenses to achieve a unique and exaggerated perspective, capturing a wide angle of view and creating a distinct visual effect. The photo you are currently viewing has been captured using a lens with an 11 mm focal length. These lenses typically have an angle of view greater than 180 degrees, resulting in a significant portion of the scene being captured in the photograph. When using a fisheye lens, the resulting image can have a circular or semicircular distortion, resembling the perspective seen by a fish underwater. This unique distortion effect is characteristic feature of fisheye lenses. After going out to capture nature through photography, many people use their mobile phone cameras and hold them upright to take a photo. In my opinion, this is not entirely correct. When observing any scene, we use both eyes simultaneously. The angle of view of each eye is approximately 50 degrees vertically. Horizontally, when the views of both eyes are combined, the angle of view becomes approximately 70 degrees. This means that when taking or viewing a photo, the expansive nature from 50 to 70 degrees is seen through a single perspective. Indeed, it is the duty of a photographer to present a photo to the viewer in the same perspective that the photographer has seen it. This principle was emphasized while studying perspective in photography. If I take a photo holding the mobile upright, why should I capture it in a way that I never see it? Please consider this thought. Only for certain exceptional scenes, vertical composition of photos looks good. For example, if you want to capture the height and grandeur of nature through a photo, then compose a photo vertically. When photographing a single individual, take a photo vertically. Hold the camera vertically or horizontally based on the position of the person, object, animal or bird in front of you. Whether they are in vertical or horizontal pose, and then take a photo. Holding the mobile horizontally while doing nature photography enables us to capture a wide expanse view of nature, stretching from one side to the other. This orientation allows us to show the grandeur of the natural landscape. Additionally, it aids in effectively revealing depth in horizontal photos, adding a sense of dimension and perspective to the captured images. Of course, differences of opinion and interests are indeed important aspects. When starting out in photography, many people tend to compose photos in a similar way to that we see in this slide. In this photo, we can see several types of errors or flaws that may be apparent to us. The main subject in the photo is a large snow-capped peak, but the placement of the peak appears inappropriate within the frame. The peak is not near the nodal point and is towards the left side of the central area of the photo. From the left side of the photo, even if the peak is positioned near the one-third line, it is not located near the top one-third of the frame. Due to the presence of horizontal lines created by the mountain range, the photo is divided equally into two parts. There are no virtually striking colors or objects in the sky, and a substantial portion of the photo is dedicated to the negative space, which is occupied by the sky. As a result, a significant portion of the photo has been left empty or vacant. In addition to that, there is a substantial amount of photo covered by dark shadows, which should not be higher than 10 to 15%. But in this photo, more than 30 to 35% of the area is covered by dark shadows. Since shadows are predominantly in the central part of the photo, it is very irritating. Also, the photo lacks the balance, and this balance can be achieved by reducing the black area in the photo. And while composing, it is recommended to follow the principles of rule of thirds and nodal points without changing the perspective. The meaning of this statement is that in order to take another photo, we should remain in the same spot from where we captured the first photo. If you attempt to reduce the expanse of the sky and decrease the portion of the shadows by moving closer to the lake, the perspective will change, and as a result, the size of the tree in the photo will appear significantly larger. Additionally, the relative sizes of all objects and relative distances between them will also change. We do not want this change. So, what is the solution to this then? If your camera has a zoom lens, you can increase its focal length to capture the photo, and thus you can avoid the mistakes that occurred in the first photo. I increased the focal length to 70 mm from the previous photo, which was taken at 35 mm. By increasing the focal length, the unnecessary expanse of the sky decreased, and the dark color section representing the mountains became less prominent. The inclusion of the foreground with trees added depth to the photo. The main subject of the photo, the snow-clad peak of the mountain Chaukhamba, is brought near the nodal point in the photo. The nearby tree and the edge of the lake, aligned with the rule of thirds, naturally came into the frame. The presence of the tree on the right side of the frame keeps our gaze within the photo. Using a zoom lens is highly advantageous for composition. By using different focal lengths, you can achieve various results in the photo. Let us take a look at an example. This photo was taken using 300 mm telephoto lens. The photo captures objects that are far away, appearing larger and bringing them closer to us. If you have a macro lens, you can easily capture the life cycle of insects, birds, and other subjects that show the natural world. You can observe the birth of a butterfly as shown here. By morphing the photos, this video was created. This is often referred to as close-up photography. Keeping a wide aperture on the lens allows for a shallow depth of field, resulting in out-of-focus background. When using a macro lens and focusing on a close subject, you can further enhance this effect, making the background appear beautifully out of focus. This technique helps to isolate and emphasize the subject, capturing the viewer's attention. Even if you have a 50 mm macro lens, lenses with focal lengths like 24 mm, 28 mm, 100 mm with 1:1 macro capability, or even lenses with focal lengths ranging from 70 to 300 mm, specifically those with macro function in the range of 200 to 300 mm, can be used to achieve close-up or macro photography. By manipulating the perspective, controlling the background, and shooting from a distance, you can still achieve stunning close-up photography, even with the lenses that may not be traditionally categorized as macro lenses.